Do the villains even consider if it's the holidays when they do their crimes? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down to the digestible ways to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. It's the holidays, and we've been exploring what some of your favorite superheroes did this year. Now it's time to find out about Flash and the Green Lanterns of Earth, two of my personal favorites. Barry Allen begins our tale on the home of a child who's currently in a foster home, and he's about to leave. Beth, the woman watching the boy, asks if he's gonna come and say goodbye to Mr. Allen. So he comes over, and he asks if Santa knows that he's here. Can he find him in his new home? Barry takes a knee, and he smiles. I was a foster kid just like you. I remember being afraid my first Christmas with my foster family. But you don't have to worry, because these days, in Central City, Santa has some very special helpers. Meanwhile, the rogues break into a bank with Captain Cold announcing, "Ho, ho, ho, Merry Christmas. I put a few million on my list to the North Pole. Don't worry, I only want 10 or 12. I'm not greedy." The teller hits the alarm and Captain Cold tells her, "The police aren't coming. Weather Wizards sent in a storm to block them off. But one person can get through that snow, and his name is the Flash." Captain Cold smiles at him. "You see, Flash, I set up 12 bombs across the city. I'm sure you'll be able to stop them all, but you won't be able to do that and stop us. You have 2 minutes, so scram." And like that, the Flash is off. The rogues get their loot and they run off to their getaway vehicle, except the Flash pulled the whole engine out of it on his way out the door. Captain Cold and Heatwave fire off their guns and the Flash dodges and he pulls a man out of a truck they almost hit. Presents all then hit the pavement as the man panics, telling the Flash, "This is terrible! These presents are for the foster homes and the children there. Can you imagine how bad Christmas is already going to be for them? And now they won't have their presents?" The Flash thinks back to his own childhood. "Yeah, I can." Captain Cold steps forward. "Flash, can you get these to where they need to be in time?" "Yeah. Having a bad holiday can mess a kid up for a pretty long time." "I know. I don't want that on my conscience." And then Captain Cold throws down the duffel with the money. "There, we didn't steal anything. We'll lay low until New Year's. You make sure these kids are taken care of." Trickster wants to know what Cold is doing, but Heatwave tells him, "Shut up." Flash looks at him. "Leonard, thank you." "Have a merry one, Flash. Trust, I'll be making your life hell in a few weeks." And the Flash smiles at him. "I look forward to it." With that, a man in a red suit moved at lightning speeds to deliver the presents to all of the children. And at 1 a.m., the boy from the start of our tale, Malcolm, he was woken up by a whoosh. He walks downstairs to see the Flash putting the presents under his tree. He smiles at the boy, and he holds his finger over his lips. And then, as Malcolm smiles back, whoosh, the Flash is gone. Next up, we have a tale from the two Green Lanterns currently watching over Earth, Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. This time, it's not a Christmas tale, but it's Three Kings Day on January 6th. As Jessica walks out with her family recipe, their rings both go off, telling them that they need to respond to an alien presence. They suit up and they take off into the skies, with Jessica telling her sister that Three Kings Day will just have to wait. As she soars through the sky, she tells herself to push her fears and anxieties aside, because this is her job now. She has to do it for everyone. They land in front of the three aliens, who explain that they came to Earth to judge the Earthlings, and if they pass the trials, they will give them a burden to hold. The aliens explain that they have 3 trials that they must pass: the trial of suffering, the trial of sincerity, and the trial of integrity. Simon projects a car and he sends it at the aliens, while Jessica tries to call for help, but the communications are blocked. The aliens then dissipate Simon's construct far too fast, and then they ask if they'll go through the trials and stand for Earth once again. Without any other option available to them, Jessica and Simon agree. Instantly, mist begins to swirl around them, and Jessica finds herself back alone in the apartment that she walled herself up in, while Simon finds himself back in prison. Simon gets up demanding to know what's going on, knowing that this isn't real, but Jessica begins to panic, telling herself that she can't do this again. She can't be in this room. The Ring of Voltham appears in front of her, while Simon's Green Lantern ring appears to him. The aliens ask them, knowing what you know now, the beings that you have fought and the battles that you have won, would you accept your rings again, dealing with that pain and fear all over? Simon tells them as he looks at his ring, the ring isn't just pain and fear. And Jessica continues it. It's safety, protection for millions, So yes, 100 times over. Pain comes with it for us, yeah, but that's the price of hope, and we pay it every day. The aliens tell them that they have passed the first test. Now for the second test, they will be in the test of truth, and they only need one person. So who is the real Green Lantern of Sector 2814? Jessica knows what Simon will say, so she prepares herself for that crushing news. But Simon surprises her. You can't trick us by putting us against each other. There are 2 Green Lanterns for Earth, so it's both of us or none of us. Very well, the last trial is death. Instantly, a monster appears before them, and Simon leaps in to combat it. But with one single swing, it disarms him and throws him to the ground. The aliens tell Jessica that if she withdraws now, they'll let her live while the Earth will perish. She looks at the mighty creature in front of her, and with her fears swelling up inside of her, she knows what she must do. She gets up using the light of willpower on the monster, and it vanishes, as the aliens tell her that she passed the final test. The aliens explain that Earth was judged, and they have won the trials. And then, they vanish. They both call up Hal Jordan to ask if he's reading anything, and he tells them nothing. They all seem confused, so Hal tells them, "You know it's a holiday, right? Try celebrating for once." Sure, thanks, Hal." And that was that. They went back to Three Kings Day, where Jessica insisted that Simon try her family recipe. As Simon takes a bite out of her meal, Simon tells her, "Jessica, you did amazing work. Everyone has their baggage, and I can't even imagine carrying yours. I just need you to know that I trust you to have my back." And then he bites into the dish, hurting his teeth. "In everywhere except baking, did you put a rock in this?" She laughs, telling him, "It's not a rock, it's the prize. Hope." And that concludes Flash and Green Lantern's holiday special. 2 of my favorite superheroes had pretty good holiday specials, but the Flash had a really touching one. Let me know what you guys think of these down below, and don't forget, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Comicstorian, where we can chat about your favorite superheroes and your favorite holidays, and I'll see you next time right here.